Good morning. It's Sunday morning. We're getting ready to go to church here, and I had this idea that I really wanted to do a podcast about, and so it's been on my mind. I really want to get it on video and audio before it drives me nuts. And so this podcast is titled Why I Do What I Love and Why Money is a Side Effect of That. And I think this is super important to me. On Friday, I was packing up from the farmer's market that we do at Marshall Hospital, and Mert from Rockney Farms had asked me why donuts, like why did I start a donut truck? And I think I gave him a pretty simple answer, that I was just tired of what I was doing. I didn't love it. Mass producing and wholesale baking just wasn't my passion, and it had kind of evolved on its own and turned into that. It wasn't really what I had set out to do when I first opened a bakery. And so what it had turned into was not something that really made me happy. And once I realized that, I knew I needed to make a change. And so trying to figure out what that was, took me a while, but I'd always wanted a food truck, and I had never really told anybody. So I started talking about it. I started telling my husband, my family, that I wanted a food truck, and I thought these were really cool, and this is what I wanted to do. And I came up with this idea to do donuts, and I thought it would be a lot of fun, and it just brought me a lot of joy even just to talk about it. So I knew it was something that I really wanted, and when I kind of put my mind to something, there's really nothing that's going to stop me. It's just my personality. When I do something, I go for it. Kind of like how I came up on Friday with this idea to start a podcast, and then on Saturday posted my first podcast. So I'm just a doer. It's just how I'm wired, and I'm always busy. So when I came up with this idea to start a food truck, I was right in the middle of just hustling. I was pregnant with my third child. I had 2 jobs. I was working for a company as like a bakery trainer, traveling around the United States. I think I went to like 12 different states in that first year alone. I'd be in Alaska for a week, and then more recently I was in Vegas every single other week. And so traveling all the time, pregnant, and I knew that this lifestyle wasn't sustainable. It was exciting, and there was a lot of aspects I loved about it, but ultimately it wasn't bringing me joy. It wasn't making me happy, and it was not going to be sustainable, especially once that third baby came. So I knew I needed to make a change, and once I figured out that that's what it was, I started doing it. I started researching and practicing different donut recipes, and just, I knew that if I just started doing it, that it would happen. I didn't know how I was going to pay for it. I didn't know what was going to happen with the wholesale bakery. I really had no idea how this all was going to evolve, but I knew that I could do it. And so I kind of just set out on the journey, and I dragged my husband along with me, and told him to find me a cool truck, and he did. And so in that period of time, about 2 years ago, I don't know if I had come up with this quote or if I had heard it or read it somewhere. I listen to a lot of podcasts and read a lot of stuff, so it's very possible that somewhere along the lines it got in my head, but it was about money being a side effect of doing what you love. And so I put this quote on the screen of my phone, and it said, "Let money be a side effect of doing what you love." And so every time I would open my phone, it would say that quote, and I would read it and go, okay, I really need to do what I love and not worry about the money. By letting money just be a side effect of doing it, it felt freeing to just think about that being a possibility. I think growing up, I had always seen my parents, who were entrepreneurs, and our lives were kind of feast or famine. We either had a ton or we had very little. And so when there was a lot of money, I would associate that with being happy. We would go on a lot of vacations. We would have fancy houses and cars, and my parents bought me a horse. I mean, I lived a very privileged lifestyle at times. And then there were certain times where we lived in a hotel. So it was just up or down. And I always associated money with that happiness, that if I could just make more money, then I would be happy. If I could buy this car or this house, then I would be happy, and that's what would ultimately do it for me. And so somewhere along the lines, I realized that that was all BS, and then if I truly wanted to be happy, I needed to be happy where my feet were planted, to be happy in this moment, to be happy doing what I'm doing, and to love what I'm doing. And I needed to find that. And so I think ultimately I did find that, and I feel much freer now knowing that every morning I get up and I'm excited to do what I do. Sure, I'm tired at sometimes, and there's events that I might not want to go do, or commitments I've made that kind of suck, but ultimately I'm happy and I really enjoy it, and that is my driving force right now. I'm hoping that with this podcast, maybe I can reach one person, maybe I can reach 100, and just inspire people to do what they love. I think it's definitely possible. I'm always telling my daughter to, talk about her dreams. There's something you want in life, make it real, give it words, give it life so that it can be possible. And I 100% believe that if you start talking about something, that you can make it real. And that's ultimately what I did with this business. I started talking about it, I made it real, I gave it life, I started making donuts. I had no idea how I was going to pay for all this, but somehow it happened, and I'm truly blessed to be in this spot now where I have this growing business that I'm excited about. I have opportunity in front of me to expand and grow the business, and my next venture is a food trailer that I've ordered that's going to be, sorry, the dog's barking. It's going to be start off as like a taco truck, which I'm super excited about. It's a new venture for me, but it really brings me joy sitting down and writing out menus for it, or practicing different recipes and working on that project. But ultimately it's surrounded around this business that started out as just something that I thought would be fun, and then evolved into something that I really love, and that now I'm trying to build this community around me of people that inspire me, and that I can also inspire. I really enjoy every day that I get to go out on the truck and talk to people in the community. I have some amazing conversations with people that just come up to buy a donut, and the stories that they have to tell, and what they have to give back to the community and to people like myself with just a simple conversation. I think everybody is looking for joy right now in life, and it's something we all need, and I really appreciate the joy that all of my customers bring to me. A lot of you make me laugh on a daily basis, and that's something that is a gift, and I really appreciate it. And so it makes me want to keep growing this community and surrounding myself with all these people that inspire me on a daily basis. So I'm going to continue doing this, whether it's for me or for 10 people that are hopefully going to get inspired by it. It's something that I really am starting to enjoy doing. So have a happy Sunday. We'll see you later.